I have the Foxwell tester on the battery right now is showing 12.45 volts. I had fully charged this battery about a week ago, and I'm going to do a quick static test on it. Test battery, 12 volt, regular test, out of vehicle, top post, regular battery type, cold cranking amps. I think this battery is rated for like 500 cold cranking amps. And it wants to know the temperature is above 0 degrees centigrade. And it says it's got 382 measured cold cranking amps out of 500. State of health is 64%. State of charge is 93%. If I had left a trickle charger or maintainer on the battery overnight, I think it would test a lot stronger, but I think it's got plenty of juice to start this puppy. So what I'm going to do is leave the Foxwell connected to read the voltage. I will use the ammeter to see how many amps are being pushed back in the battery from the alternator, assuming there will be some, and there should be. And then after I see that the alternator is or is not working, at that point, then I'm going to go ahead and turn off the engine or have Linda turn it off, and then we'll clean up the tools around the car, put them away, and then start up again, pull the thing out for a little romp around the block. What I'll have Linda do is, as she's recording, hand me the phone so I can keep recording, and have her turn the engine to run position to see if anything looks unusual under the hood. And then when I determine that it's safe to go ahead and start the car, go ahead and fire it up and see how well the thing starts and runs after it's been sitting here for all winter.
Okay. How about negative battery cable? Is that going yet?
Oh, good. Yes, thank you. A nice reminder, that would help. Mr. Safety made sure that negative battery cable is off during this entire procedure, and then wanted to keep being so safe that he did not put it back on. Shame, shame. Linda's been watching, probably waiting for me to screw that up. Okay, so I'll go ahead and use battery pliers, which are made to work on battery lug nuts. Tighten this up. While it's tightened up, I'll check to see if there's any kind of draw DC amps. I zero out the meter.
Do you draw?
I zeroed out again. It says 0.11. I don't know why there be any draw. Let me zero this and do this in a negative cable. Okay, it shows 0.11 amps draw, but now that I have this off the car, it's showing 9 0.009, 0.0025. There might be something under the hood here that's causing this to change value as I move it around. So let me try zeroing it down where it's going to be. .11 again, so I'm not sure why that's happening. I'm not too worried about it. I'm showing now .54 volts. So let me have you hand me the.
I can do this and turn.
Oh, yeah, just turn the engine to the run position if you would please.
Run.
Okay, I don't see anything smoking, so that's a good sign. Let me check the current. .56 amps are flowing. That's the current going through the charging system, and now also the voltage switch of the upgraded charging system. Okay, let's light this puppy up and see what it does.
You want that all connected like that?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
You might have to hit the throttle twice before you crank to get
All right.
some.
Do you want the phone now?
Oh, sure. Thank you. Pump 2 more times.
I pumped 4.
2 more times. Hold on. Ignition is off. Off for a moment. Okay, back on. Okay, we have ignition current to the ignition module. Go ahead and pump it 2 more times and try again. Okay, hold on. Okay, so the engine cranks over great. The battery is really kicking off some good amperage, but the engine isn't starting. I don't know if it is a ignition issue, a fuel issue, because it's not getting fuel, or did the engine get flooded? I don't know yet. So I'm going to test for spark using the inductive timing light, where I put these 2 clips in the battery for power. This I put around one of the spark plugs, and if there is ignition that's firing a spark, this will pick it up and it'll make a light flash on the timing light, and then we'll know if it's getting spark or not. If it isn't, then we've got to figure out, is it primary or secondary ignition? So now we'll see. So at random, I'll just pick the closest spark plug wire to me to put the inductive pickup. Make a little room on the battery lugs for the power. And then let me have you hand that phone over to Joe so he can hold on to it and keep recording as you crank it.
I'm truly cranking.
Yeah, and we're looking for a light out here. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, there's the light.
14.19 volts.
I got it.
5.15 amps.
Was that magic?
Yeah, it must have been magic. PFM, pure magic.
Was it flooded then, or what?
It might have been. We'll never know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, I guess.
But it fired immediately, so let me unplug all this and have you fire it again. Make sure it's not just something weird. I didn't touch anything other than put these clamps on, electrical clamps.
Yeah, like what if they're completing some circuit somehow?
Yeah, I doubt that's the case. Okay, the lighter up. Okay, so what I am saying at this moment is that the engine is starting and running perfectly well. The battery tested a little bit weak with cold cranking amps using a Foxwell tester, but clearly it is plenty of amperes to fire this engine off. I was getting about 0.11 amp draw while the engine was off. Oh, was that door open when you did that? That might have been the whole draw. Let me have you close the door.
I don't think it was.
I'll check for draw once again to see if we have any that's measurable. But while the engine was running, I was getting a very modest 5.15 amperes flowing through. 0.00 0.12. I'll re-zero it when I have it on. Zero point zero zero. Open the door. Zero 0.7 amps. Okay. So the draw of the charging system, or electrical system, when the key is turned off and the door is closed, looks like it's extremely low, and that's good. When the car was not yet running, I was getting 12.4 volts in the battery. Now I'm getting 12.74. When the engine was running, I was getting just over 14 volts. So it told me the alternator is charging at least voltage. I put the clamp around the negative battery cable to check for flow of amperage. And I was getting over 5 amps of charge off the alternator, which tells me that the charging system is working. It didn't tell me the maximum output, and I'm not worried about maximum output. That's that's a test for after we clean up inside the garage, put all the tools away, which I'm able to do now that I know everything's working. Okay, then you can turn it off. Go. Right now we're getting 12.63 volts out of the battery, and I'm going to show real quickly how I can tell if the battery is working good and the charging system is working good. Let me have you close the door so we don't have any dome light. Thank you. So first thing I want to do is check for battery draw. So on my handheld tester, I have an inductive ammeter that measures amperes flowing through the wire. If there's flow of current, it gives off an electrical magnetic field, and it picks up here and it shows down here how many amps or milliamps are flowing. So I can zero, it's set for 40 amp scale. I have it set for DC current, which I can change by pressing this button repetitively as it cycles through DC, AC. And then if I hold this button down, it will zero out the reading. So it shows 0.00 amps flowing right now. So I'm going to put this around a battery cable, either one, and check to see how many amps are flowing, if any. Okay, now it's reading 0.27, so I'll re-zero it again. Put the clamp around the positive battery. And I don't know if Joe can get in there or not, but it's showing 0.00 amps flowing, which is what we want. Okay, now, as Joe is watching this voltage, I'll have Linda start the engine, fire it up. 14.23 volts. I'm still on the 40 amp scale. Okay, so it looked like it went up to 14 point some odd volts, which was good. And when the engine was running, it looked like it was charging about 11 amps. It might have been jumping around a little bit. I'll see when I review this video, but I was getting amperage output from the alternator going into the battery, and now the battery is showing a surface charge of just over 13 volts. So that tells me that the battery is in pretty good condition, that the engine clearly cranked and fired off perfectly, and while the engine was running, the alternator was putting out voltage and amperage enough to keep the battery charged up. So it was powering the ignition system and the charging system field circuit and whatever other devices might have been turned on at the time the engine was running. So I haven't checked for maximum output yet on here. I'm going to use a different machine to do that, one called a VAT40 volt amp tester 40. And I'm going to do that later on, maybe in a different video, because it's more involved than just quick little hand tools. Okay, I would say that me stating that I'm very happy with how this project turned out will be an understatement, and I do hope anyone watching this video has found some benefit to watching and listening to everything I have been doing. And hopefully, if you're upgrading your alternator to a third generation from a first generation, I hope you find the same success I did. And cut.